How is everyone doing today? Let's actually listen to like some Pokemon beats for a little bit. I think that would be good. So I was actually planning on logging on and doing some other stuff today, but it is actually maintenance right now. And it's actually perfect because I did want to make this video as a follow-up to my Legion and Link skill leveling guide, how I did that in 3 weeks. And I also need a little bit more time to continue my Dawn Warrior series because I didn't really get a lot of time to play over the holidays, guys. So sadly, sorry, that one's going to take a little bit longer, but I am still filming for that. But today, what I have for you guys is actually going to be a tier list that we're going to be making basically on how easy the leveling process is to get them all the way up to level 100. I'm only saying level 100 because that pretty much brings them all the way to the S rank, because if you followed my previous video on Legion and leveling Link skills, you don't really do anything other than just killing Zakim's arms every 30 minutes from 100 to 140. So we're just going to talk about the leveling process from level 1 to 100, how quick that is, how close it gets to the 2.5 hour mark based on the class. And we're also going to be, I'm going to be doing this with as little bias as possible in terms of not how I feel, but in terms of bias based on stats that you would normally get from Legion, Link skills, stuff like that. So we're just going to go over this. I believe all the classes are here. If I'm missing any, I will add them to the end. Quick note really quickly, the one that we're going to touch up on that's slightly different is going to be 0. I'm going to add it in here, and we'll talk about that once we get to it, just because you don't level from 1 to 100 on it. But you do have to do something in order to get that to an S tier rank. So we will be talking about that one as well in a little bit, and that one will just be a little different. All right, so first on the list, Aaron. Let's actually go over a few things first before we get into any of the classes. The way I'm going to be ranking these are going to be a few things. How good they are at mobbing. There's specific map routes that you're going to take from level 1 to 100, so how quickly and easily they can get through those. So the mobility around the map, stuff like that. And not only that, whether or not they have XP, increasing abilities, stuff like that. Yeah, I think those will be the categories. So, right off the rip with Aaron. It's a fun class to play, don't get me wrong. Leveling process 1 to 100. You don't get anything too crazy. Mobility is kind of low. Leveling all the way up to 60 is pretty good. And then you get to Drakes, which they have a pretty mediocre Drake process. I just feel like I didn't have a really easy time one-shotting. And I even had the stats for my Legion and Link skills for strength and stuff like that. So I don't know if we're going to place them pretty high, but I'm pretty sure this one's a pretty easier one to level. And it is a good Link skill to get. So let's just, I think we're going to slot him in A, just because he does pretty good. You know, I might actually put him in B, because his movement isn't that crazy. And we're actually going to delete this category down here too, because I've leveled all of the classes up to 140 at this point. So, Arc. What do I have to say about Arc? I personally do not like this class. Speaking for someone who is going to just be looking at this list and saying, okay, how easy is it going to be for me, you know, to level all of these characters and the classes and stuff like that? This one takes some time to learn. Not only that, I really hated leveling and having to learn the Flora versus not, the Spectral form, I believe it's called. Balancing throughout those. You have really easy time one-shotting when you're in your Spectre form, but your floor is really, really bad. So for a new player to pick up this class, or not, maybe not necessarily a new player, but someone who's never played the class before, it's a pretty bad leveling experience, I'm not gonna lie. This one I would have to put in like D or F. I'm gonna put it in D because I'm sure that I was pretty bad at learning how to use them. So some of you guys might actually be a little bit better, and that one might actually be a little bit easier of a process for you. Battle Mage. Very good movement. I didn't have any trouble one-shotting mobs at all. Its AoE isn't too massive, but it's a pretty decent leveling experience all the way to level 100. Their abilities are just very close range. They'll hit a lot if they're in close range. So certain maps are really good for them. I had an easy time doing Drakes, especially with the pull move, just teleporting up and down platforms. But things like boars and stuff like that is abysmal leveling through there. So I'm going to put this probably at... I would say it's for sure quicker than Aeron leveling. Yeah, I think it's good there. Alrighty, Blaster. Mixed feelings about this one. Again, this one is one you actually like need to kind of know what you're doing to level this properly, I guess. The movement's okay as long as you know what you're doing. But again, I was having trouble one-shotting, especially when you got past like boars. So I would have to put this in like D with like Arc. Really was kind of a longer leveling process for this one. Cadena. I like this one. This one, at least in terms of the gameplay, came pretty easy to me. So I didn't think that one was too bad. AoE's pretty good, movement's really good. One-shotting was slightly lacking. I think that this was kind of a quicker one, I'm not gonna lie. I would put this in like A or B. I'm probably going to put it in B, because even though I got the class, a lot of other people might not right away, and it's kind of irritating. So to learn a class that's not as simple as, you know, just spam your AoE ability, stuff like that. But if you know what you're doing, it's a pretty quick one. So I would do that one for sure. Probably middle of the pack. Evan. Even though I was able to understand how this class worked, its functionality, stuff like that, I dreaded leveling this one. Its movement's pretty good. I just felt like it's mobbing early on without 5th drop, stuff like that. Just feels very, very clunky. You do have like a buff that allows you to just like fly on your mount and kill a whole bunch of shit super early. So that's kind of nice. Actually, I'm not even sure if you get that before level 100. I think I'm thinking of Ilium. So this one, I would have to put like with Arc and Blaster. It's gonna be a longer one to do. I had a lot of trouble one-shotting. It's not AFK or lazy whatsoever. You have to like combo things the entire time. I'm gonna put this one in D. Wasn't that enjoyable for sure. Ilium. This one's really good and really bad at the same time. So the problem with Ilium is it's going to take a lot longer. So automatically it's below B than all of these other classes. And that's for the one fact, if you have to go through this pretty horrendous quest line all the way up to like level 30 or 35, that's going to pretty much take like 2 hours, or at least it did for me. I guess I wasn't sweating too hard. But that right off the rip is what I would usually take to level a class to level 100 anyways. So even though once you get past that quest line, you can just pretty much spam AFK this class and clear a whole bunch of maps super easy. So it is a little bit nicer, but in terms of like time that it takes to reach level 100, we're gonna have to throw it an F, because that quest line in the beginning is just horrendous. So Ilium kind of gets shafted by that, which kind of sucks, but that's alright. Kaiser. This one has really nice mobility. Mobbing is kind of lacking. You get summons that really don't do a lot of damage early on. This one was just a slow process. It was simple, easy, lazy, but it's just slow. I'm just gonna probably have to throw this guy in C. Mechanic. So this one has some really good phases and some really bad phases. Drakes, you blast through it, just jump down platform, boom, 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 boom. You can stay there all the way up to level from 60 to 80 in like no time. I didn't have any problem one-shotting up until like Sand Dwarf, stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to put this one as kind of one of the higher ones. This was one of my quicker leveling experiences with Mechanic. So I'm gonna have to slot that one up there for sure. Definitely a quick one. Mercedes. Dude, they put all the bad ones so early on in this list. If your name's closer to A, I guess you just have a worse class to level. Super slow process. A lot of trouble one-shotting. One of the slower experiences I had while leveling. It does give you, as when you reach level 70, 10% extra XP, or 5% if I remember correctly. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's not enough to like make up for it. And to level really properly, you have to have it geared, which when I'm speedrunning them, I don't really take the time to do. So this one, again, with comboing in order to do things properly, it's not lazy at all. This one's gonna have to go in like D again. Some people might be able to, like, this whole category is basically some people might be able to make it mid-tier for how quick it is to level, but for a new player who doesn't understand the class whatsoever, it's just not plausible to me. Pathfinder. Really easy to level. One of the quickest leveling experiences I had. Great AoE. Didn't have any trouble one-shotting. Movement's okay. I would have to put this up with like Mechanic. This one, I think, only took me like 2.5 hours at most. So that one was a pretty quick one as well. Phantom. I don't like the mobility. Its kit really lacks good AoE. You basically have to use the Pathfinder's abilities in order to level properly. So it's basically just a worse Pathfinder leveling experience. This one's gonna have to go in like C. Its mobility feels super clunky to use. It's just a worse Pathfinder. It took me like 3.5 hours to do that one. So that one's gonna have to go low for sure. Shade, super simple. Mobility, middle of the tier, or middle of the pack. I didn't have any trouble one-shotting. AoE in terms of like how big of maps I can clear isn't too great. But I think that it was pretty easy to level. This one didn't take so long whatsoever, just because it was so easy to one-shot. I'm gonna have to put this guy up in like A with like Battle Mage. Alrighty here. So that is Wild Hunter. Movement's a little clunky. They did add a lot of quality of life things to Wild Hunter though that made this leveling experience a lot better. Thankfully I didn't do that before, so I can tell you how it is recently. The mobbing's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Super easy leveling experience. You run really fast on your Tiger. You get around the map super easy, and you have a lot of buffs that increase your damage. I didn't have any trouble one-shotting. This one's gonna have to go up in S as well. This one was a very, very quick leveling experience, like really, really quick. I'm thinking we'll leave 0 to last. So we'll go back to that one. Adele. Let's talk about Adele for a second. Easy, quick. I don't know how else I can explain it. Really good mobbing, swords that fly around and kill the map super easy. Didn't have any trouble one-shotting whatsoever. Great movement around the map. Like, this class was probably the fastest it took me to level the 100. This one's gotta be SS for sure. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, well, with the easiest class to level, we also get the worst class in the game to level. Dude, I hate this class just because getting to level 30 is abysmal. It's so bad. The little pea shooter, that thing sucks. It's so bad, horrible for one-shotting. Their only nice thing in their kit is that they have like really good movement speed and an and rope lift super early on. So once you get past like the first level 30, it actually becomes way freaking easier, like way freaking easier. But that level 30 experience like literally is so bad. Like, I'm gonna have to put it down here because like I had to pick up this class probably 3 times before I got it past level 30, just because it was so irritating to me. Even though it didn't take a lot of time to get to that level, it's like horrendous to do. Fire poison. Honestly, I'll do both of these at the same time because this pretty much sums it up. Great mobbing, great utility, great getting around the map, great buffs. These guys were probably one of the fastest levelers I had to do. Like, by far. Like, I almost want to put Wild Hunter back down here and slap both of these mages up here because both of them are so quick and easy to level. I didn't even use the fire poison macros, and I know that there's a lot of them out there, so you can level up that process even quicker than what I did. But like, they just fly around the map and do so much so easily. Definitely one of the quicker leveling experiences by far. They have to be S tier, like no doubt in my mind. Alrighty, Beast Hammer. This really depends. So I leveled this with Bear and Tiger, I believe, and that was before the change to Hawk. But I do know how Hawk is now, and this one's pretty easy. You don't one-shot, but it's very lazy, very easy to do. So this one's definitely got to be like middle of the pack for sure on how quick it is, just because it's got good mobility. With Hawk, isn't the strongest, but it's got good AoE, stuff like that, so you can actually clear quite easily. Alright, so this has got to be Bishop, I believe. Bishop, again, I think I don't need to talk about this one too much. It's basically got the AoE and leveling as the Fire Poison and Ice Lightning, but it's got that Holy Symbol, which just takes it to the next level. Super quick one to level. AoE is great. Damage super strong since the rework. This one's going to be one of your quickest levelers, by far. Like, that one's so nice to level. Blaze Wizard. I really don't like this one. I thought leveling would be a lot of fun, just because I like leveling classes that don't know what they do, stuff like that. So I thought it was going to be enjoyable, but it just feels super clunky. It's a mage with no teleport, so you're going to have less mobility than all the other mages in the game. Not only that, a lot of their abilities have to be used when they're on the ground, and their balls just like, they're not really good, in my opinion. Like, you need more in the kit from 5th job, stuff like that, to make this a better leveler. This one was a very slow leveling process for me. I had a really hard time leveling, like less than half the amount of damage than a lot of my other classes did. So this one's definitely F tier, like by a long shot. Alright, Bowman. Their buff that they get shoots like randomly in the map, super nice, super easy for leveling. You have the teleport skill to teleport on other sides of the map. You've got a good up jump. Damage super strong. AoE is pretty good, especially vertically and downwards. Not necessarily by length, but this one was a very quick leveler for sure. Again, I'm gonna probably slide Mechanic down and throw Bowmaster up in here, because this was a really quick leveler. This was a really nice one, really easy one. Buccaneer. So Buccaneer as well is so good at leveling early on. I mean, the Serpent where it comes out isn't really that helpful. But like as you like level through your jobs, the leveling process just becomes way quicker, like exponentially. This was a very quick one. I would say that this was a sub 2 hour level 100. So I'm gonna have to put that up here. Cannoneer. So Cannoneers have summons. They don't do a lot of damage early, so they're not really that helpful for mobbing, and they don't really get a great mobbing ability up until level 100. But until then, it's pretty decent. It's not horrible. Third job is when you start being able to do some mobbing pretty well. Honestly, it's just a slightly faster mechanic in terms of leveling, if I'm gonna be completely honest. So we're just gonna have to slap it right there for now. Corsair. These ones have a lot of summons where they actually help a lot. I didn't like its mobbing too much, to be completely honest. This was a lot slower one for me because I just AFK'd pretty much the entire thing, let my summons do the entire thing, just watch some Netflix, stuff like that. So this one wasn't terribly fast for me by any means, but it was super easy, super lax. So this one for sure for me is going to be middle of the pack. I think I'd put it above Aeron as well. Yeah, wasn't too bad a leveling experience, didn't hit my life or nothing like that, so I think we'll have to leave that there. So Dark Knight, I played the revamp, leveled it all the way up in the Destiny patch. This one I really fell in love with. If it wasn't for how clunky its mobility was, its mobbing's pretty good. You've got some good AoE abilities on here that definitely aren't amazing pre-100, but it does allow you to like level pretty fast, especially compared to like some of the other warriors at this point. And they hit super strong, like really strong. Like I would put this in A. Like I feel like it's just a better shade in terms of how strong it is and the actual hitboxes of the abilities, stuff like that. Definitely gotta be up there for sure. Alrighty, so what's this? Dawn Warrior? Yeah. I actually just recently leveled a Dawn Warrior. You guys know from watching my previous videos, I actually did a guide on Dawn Warrior. I'm currently making it a bossing mule right now, so I just leveled this up. Like I know this one is super easy, super nice. Its new lunar ability feels very clunky leveling up. So it's not going to be as strong as I would have liked it to be up until like level 200. But they one-shot everything. Like, they one-shot everything. Like, I had no problem with that. And the AoE isn't terrible. I just felt like it was super clunky. I'm gonna put it in B. It was a pretty quick leveling experience. Pretty quick. It's definitely, like, right at the tip of above middle of the pack. For sure. Demon Avenger. Not as bad as some of you guys may think. I didn't really have any trouble one-shotting on this class, and you pretty much just spin the wind the entire time. It's level 1 to 30 is a little bit slow, but it's not that horrible. Level 1 to 30 is pretty easy anyways, unless you're Angelic Buster. Kill me. This one was really quick. Really quick. You guys might be surprised about this, but I would actually say, like, I thought it was going to be a lot slower. But Demon Avenger, for sure, was one of my quickest, by far. Dual Blade. So, let's talk about Dual Blade. Dual Blade's pretty quick. The only problem with it is they have a slight little quest line off to the side that they have to do in order to unlock some of their abilities, which slows down your speedrunning a little bit. So it is going to be below the pack. It's going to have like better mobility and mobbing than a lot of these guys here. But it just has that quest line that really drags it down. So it's gonna have to be slightly below middle of the pack, sadly. Pyoto. Leveling to 100 on this class, you got really good mobility, really good AoE, didn't have any trouble one-shotting whatsoever. This class was super, super nice leveling up to level 100, like really, really easy. And then it didn't have any trouble whatsoever leveling through the Zakum technique. This one's got to be an SS as well. That's got to go up there for the leveling process. So if you need an early link skill, just a slight little bit of damage, that one's perfect for you guys. Make sure you run that. What was this? Hero? Hero. I don't know about you guys, but I really had a hard time one-shotting on this character. I liked its AoE, I liked his mobility, the way it moved around. The up jump still sucks with a lot of the warriors. But it didn't feel too horrible, other than that. So I only really struggled towards those last few levels, like 80 to 100. So it's definitely going to be like above these guys, for sure. But I think, yeah, I would have to put it right there. It's right in the middle of the pack. It's sad to say, but Hero really just like scales so exponentially. He's so nice as the game goes on, but the level 1 to 100 process was really just a struggle. It really was. Alrighty, so Hoi Young. I had no idea what I was doing with this class, but it is like extremely strong. I had so much fun playing it. Mobility is amazing. It's like literally cracked. You're just flying around the map the entire time. This one, like, if you know what you're doing, this is gonna be like a sub 2 hour leveling process. It's got abilities that like shoot like random Hoyongs around the map. That one was a really quick one. Like, that's gotta be SS. It has to be. Jet. I'll tell you right now, leveling a Jet to level 100 is freaking painful, man. Past that, it's fine. It's just like, it's so rough. Early leveling a Jet. The third job sucks. Like, it's like abysmal. It's really, really freaking bad. And that's really sad to say, but it's so bad. And its summons suck. Like, its summons really just are horrible. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Like, it's really, you either pew pew pew, which sucks, or you do your side dash move, which also sucks. Really has a hard time one-shotting. Just horrible leveling experience. It gives such a good Legion and Link skill block, which is why it sucks. You need it, but that one's gonna be horrible leveling. So I apologize to all of you guys when that time comes. Let's talk about Kane. This is actually one of the faster ones as well. Really good mobbing, really good mobility. Their mobility isn't too bad to get used to, the chaining around the map, stuff like that. And I didn't have any trouble one-shotting whatsoever. Their like shotgun ability and stuff like that, all super easy one-shots. This is gonna be a quicker one. This one's gotta go up in like S as well. This is like a 2.5 hour. Kana, it's got good summons. You just like are pretty much just spamming your attack ability the entire time. Its movement's pretty good, but after the nerfs, it's just like it's below middle of the pack for how quick this one is to level, and you don't even get Kishins till third job, and that increases your XP a good bit. But again, it's not like they've got like that damage that like Bishop has right now that really like puts that into full effect. Like, it just barely pushes it to the point where like it's right below middle of the pack for leveling. So that kind of sucks for them, but not too horrible. Alrighty, so let's go into Lara. Lara, Lara, Lara. What do I have to say about Lara? This one's pretty quick. Super simple. All you have to do is read your abilities once, because it's super confusing until you do that. But once you like know kind of how to use the totems and stuff like that, or the summons, or whatever you want to call them, you can just clear maps so easy. Drakes, you know, scorpions, sand dwarves, like all those maps past their job just get obliterated so freaking easily. And even up until that point, your little like flower poof thingy does so much damage. You like one shot everything early on. This one is like I'm gonna move Demon Avenger down so we can open up another slot like up here for Lara. This one's definitely quicker than all of these up here. Really, really easy leveler. And it's actually such a good link skill. Like, you guys have to get this one done early on. Luminous. It's the problem with Luminous is first and second job are very, very clunky. Once you get to third job, you get to start mobbing a lot easier, and it becomes a lot faster of a leveling process. But until that point, it's just like it's not amazing, but it's not bad. This one's definitely going to be a 2.5 to 3 hour leveling process for sure. It's not going to be anything too special. This one's going to be middle of the pack. Alrighty, so crossbowman. Again, I just leveled this one up after the Destiny changes. So I got to experience this whole thing all the way up to level 140. Mobility, again, pretty decent. Mobbing is super good. Would I put it as high as marksman? No, I think the marksman leveling process, or sorry, the bowmaster leveling process is a lot easier. But it doesn't have any problems one-shotting. Like, I would put this in the same boat with Dawn Warrior, where it's like, its mobbing is like decent, it's good, but it's doesn't have any trouble one-shotting. But it's not like anything too crazy. This one's gonna be like a solid top of A for sure for your leveling speed. It's gonna be a 2.5, or it's gonna be like a 2.5 hour level to 100. Definitely not bad whatsoever. Mihail. Again, this is another one I leveled right after the changes here in Ignition. This one was really, really quick. Its changes made it super strong. You don't have any trouble one-shotting whatsoever. Yeah, it's like mobility is its biggest downfall, and it's not even that bad. Like, this one's a solid A. Like, it was definitely a lot easier to level than the Dawn Warrior. I'm not even sure what this guy is. We'll move this guy out of the way for now. And then this has got to be, what, my Night Lord, right? Yeah, looks like my Night Lord. Night Lord leveling. This is actually one of the slower ones. It's got decent mobility. It's pretty good at one-shotting, but its mobbing is just abysmal. It really just takes some time to actually get this one to any decent of a point. Like, Nightwalker is slightly faster, but even Nightwalker's like middle of the pack, so this one was just a slower one. This one's like a 3 hour plus long, level 100. It's gotta go down here. Yeah, and like as I was just saying, I mean, with the mobbing on these guys, they're pretty much throwing shurikens the entire time. The only reason why Nightwalker is a little bit better is its damage is slightly higher through that leveling experience, and you have those bats that go berserk around the map. You know, the pew 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 pew. Lots of fun playing this class, although it just wasn't that quick. This one's just middle of the pack, nothing too crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much where I have to put that. Paladin. This one I would have to put up with like either low A or high B for these reasons. Again, with all of the new warriors, the up jump, it's so clunky. It's so clunky. In terms of one-shotting mobs though, like I had a way easier time doing that with the hero for some reason, so maybe it's just base scaling's a little bit better. But this one was sub 2.5 hours for me. It was definitely faster than Dark Knight. I would put this in S. This one was a super easy leveling. Shadower is actually pretty decent. This one, its Mace Explosion pretty much doesn't help out a ton while mobbing early on, so it's very min-maxy. Its mobbing's decent, it's nothing too crazy. This is a solid middle of the pack for sure for leveling speed. But it's like a must need just because of, you know, thiefling skill, stuff like that. So this one you're not gonna hit your life on. It's pretty simple, pretty lazy to do. It's not too bad. Alright, TB. Just kidding. TB actually has probably one of the worst third job leveling experiences in the game. Very spammy, very irritating, and it doesn't even do that much damage to begin with, spamming Ascension and Thunder, just rolling around the map. And its first and second job also are just abysmal too. This is, as much as I love this class, it's solid C or D. Like, I'm just gonna put it above these guys because I would put it at around the same clear speed, but it's just like, it's a little bit easier to understand the class if it's just spamming two abilities over and over again. Alrighty, so Wind Archer. Wind Archer I did in slightly under 3 hours. So this one's gonna be middle of the pack. I had trouble doing damage. I really wasn't one-shotting, but its AoE is pretty good. You have the arrows just like Night Lord that pew 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 around the map. But they just don't do a terrible amount of damage. There's just slight increases in XP per hour. Mobility is pretty decent as well, but it's just like, it's kind of boring just slapping them with your cape the entire time throughout this entire leveling experience. So it's kind of a boring one for me, but it wasn't too long. So this one's going to be middle of the pack. Kinesis. Kinesis is another F tier. Its mobbing isn't too amazing. Its mobility isn't too amazing. It's just got a horrendous questline that you have to get through. It's not too bad, but in terms of like time that it takes you to do, if you're trying to speedrun Legion and leveling, this one's just not it. It's super slow. The link skill's pretty decent with the extra crit damage, stuff like that. So you do need it, but it's got good damaging. Like, you can one-shot early, but like, it doesn't matter if you can one-shot and all of the leveling past the quest line is quick. If the quest line is making it slower than all of these right from the get-go. So sadly, that's why that one's got to go in F tier. Alrighty, so Demon Slayer. This one was a slow one. You barely one-shot level 80 plus, you're going to start having troubles. Your AoE isn't too good. You're pretty much playing off of cooldowns. This one was extremely slow. We're talking about like 3.5 hour long grind. And I just didn't enjoy it that much either. You don't really have to worry about potions and stuff like that, materials, so I mean, it's decent in some way, shape, or form, but it's just like, it's slow. Like, even though it's a lot easier to learn than these two, you have to play off cooldowns, and it's just like, it's mobbing even after that is just horrendous. Xenon. Leveled this one quite recently. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. I liked its mobility, being able to move around and stuff like that, being able to like use the different abilities based on like what the map that you're playing on is. really, really cool, really unique. But it really does struggle one-shotting. And for that reason, we're going to have to slap it in C. This one is for sure an above 3-hour long grind just because of your trouble with damage. Not necessarily because of your trouble with mobility, stuff like that. Or versatility. So yeah, that one's just got to be there. So we're going to keep 0 absolute last to talk about for one reason. So, like, this is by far the worst Legion block in the game to get for one very important reason. All of its quest line, and if you don't want to do the quest line, you have to go mob and you have to gear it up and all this stuff, and you don't even have to, you start at level 100, so you're pretty much leveling to 180 in order to get to the same point that all of these other guys are, and that's going to take you way longer than the 3 hours that it will take to get this. So questline route or leveling route, whatever you take, this one is going to be the slowest Legion and Link skill to get in the game by far. Mobility is really nice. You could fly around the map. Damage is kind of abysmal. You really need to gear it up in order to do that. It's rough. It really is just rough. You do get that Legion start giving you extra XP early on in the process. I believe at like level 120 or whenever chapter 2's done or something like that. But it's another one of those classes that you really have to take time and learn and actually like feel out and figure out how to play. So it's just rough, man. It really is. So that's definitely going to be the slowest one for you to level in the game. Now, if you guys look back at my previous or my first video that I made about Legion and Link skill leveling, you can actually see the order that I tell you the most efficient route to level these is in, with some movement up or down. But if you don't want to follow that, just take a look at this right here. This tier list is basically me telling you how fast each of these will get to that S rank. This right here is going to be basically what I'm telling you. If you're starting from the top and going down, that's going to be your easiest time getting to that 6k Legion. At least, maybe not easiest, but quickest for sure. So I guess you could say easiest as well, because easy on the amount of time it takes and strain and not burning out, stuff like that. So that's definitely going to be the list right here. I think this is a pretty good spot. I don't know if I want to change anything around. I might move Dark Knight down to here. I was just looking at him. That's Beast Hammer, not Laura. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it does suck, you guys, because a lot of these ones at the bottom, you know, are really good. Evan Link skill, Arc Link skill, Blaster Legion is IED, Mercedes extra XP, Thief Link skill, boss damage, damage based on moving, crit damage, more crit damage, XP. Like, the sad thing is a lot of these slower ones you really do need to get done. But at least this can prep you kind of for it. If you look at where my SS tier is, these are going to be ones that you can complete in under 2 hours. They're super, super quick. Everything F and below, this is going to be 3.5 hour plus. So, I mean, we're talking about only an hour and a half difference, but when you're making 49 characters, that's a really big deal. That's a lot of extra time. That's like 50 extra hours added on to your process if every single one of them took this long. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I just wanted to get on and show you guys this tier list. And just a reminder, guys, this isn't how good or bad the class is. This is simply how fast it is to get to that S rank in your Legion and Link skills block. these were just my experiences. A lot of the classes down at the bottom, remember, I didn't really know how to play too well, so maybe you could probably do those a little bit quicker. So it's okay to disagree with me there. Otherwise, feel free to give me any feedback, anything that you feel like could be done quicker, or maybe you just don't agree with me in general on some of them. Let me know that stuff. So that will be it for me on that, guys. So thank you guys for sticking around and watching all of that as well. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help me out a bunch.